Ghost of Tsushima, a game about honor, sacrifice, and me repeatedly getting slapped to death in my Sunday best. Now usually when I play a game like this, I throw on the biggest, baddest armor I can find the second it's available. I like to feel invincible, but this time I wanted to flip the script. What happens when you take away all the safety nets, when you take one of the most beautiful, brutal games out there and rip the armor off completely? Welcome to the no armor challenge. No protection, no hope, just pain and regret. Now technically the game doesn't let you run around fully naked. Believe me, I tried. If it gives combat, health, or stealth bonuses in any way, it's gone. If it boosts anything except your fashion sense, banned. Which leaves us with two outfits, broken armor and the traveler's attire, which is essentially a neck pillow with a hood. And to make it worse, we're doing it on lethal, the highest difficulty in the game, where every enemy is a ray boss and every duel feels like a personal attack from the depths.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Which begs the question, can you beat Ghost of Tsushima with no armor? So the game opens strong, you're Jin Sakai, a noble samurai charging headfirst into Mongols like it's Anime Con 1272. We get an early taste of lethal difficulty, and honestly, not too bad. For a hot minute, it actually feels like we'll have this challenge wrapped up before breakfast. But looks can be deceiving, and so can armor, because for one glorious moment, we actually have some. And looking back on it, that probably made all the difference. But that optimism doesn't last long, and eventually the Mongols adapt and Jin gets folded like discount origami. The rest of the samurai army is wiped, your uncle is kidnapped, and Jin's pulling arrows out of his spine like a damn porcupine cosplay. You wake up somehow still alive, being nursed back to life by Yuna, a local rogue, part-time therapist, full-time lifesaver, and possible future love interest. She stitches you up, gets your gear back, and sends you off like a wounded cat with a grudge. Now most people might take a week off after being impaled, but not Jin. Before the man can even shit again without blood in his stool, he's limping to Castle Kaneda, ready to throw hands with the entire Mongol Empire. And that's where we meet him, the Mongol menace, the tactical genius, the guy with the voice that sounds like he's been aged in whiskey barrels, Khoten Khan. Jin tries to act tough, lands a little slash on the Khan's face, bold move, except all it does is piss him off, and next minute, Jin gets launched off the bridge like an unwanted side quest.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
Somehow, he survives. Again, because what Jin lacks in actual armor, he makes up for with sheer uncut plot immunity. And this is where the game really opens up. No more scripted duels, no more plot handholding. Just you, some broken armor, and a world that wants you dead. Lethal difficulty hits different. You swing your sword and it feels like you're brushing lint off their shoulder. Meanwhile, they sneeze in your direction and you're doing backflips into the afterlife. Early on, combat wasn't just difficult, it was a full-blown anxiety attack with a sword. So naturally, I avoided fights, and instead, I stealthed like a prison gremlin hiding in ornamental bushes. Now you guys know I hate stealth. It's slow, it's sneaky, it's basically the opposite of fun. But on lethal, it was the only way I could last more than 6 seconds. We get the Traveler's Attire early on, which becomes our go-to drip for the remainder of the game. We also thankfully get the half bow around the same time, and honestly, it became my emotional support weapon. Silently picking people off from the shadows made me feel powerful, also made me feel like a coward. A living coward though. I slowly started to learn the game, the combat, the parries, the timing. There was a flicker of hope, but mostly there was death. So much death. Death was the honor, death was the shame. Death while pressing the wrong button. Well, at least that's what I thought. With my ego sufficiently bruised and my corpse still warm, I decide to try the story again like I learnt something. We stumble into the next main tale, track some footprints, follow the trail, and reunite with Ryuzo, old friend, former sparring partner, gives off would betray you for a snack energy, but for now, friendly vibes. Feels wholesome, until it turns into a Mongol ambush simulator. And this fight, pure pain. Every swing felt like I was stabbing myself emotionally. Died once, died again. The game even became passive aggressive and was borderline begging me to abandon the tale and try again later. Eventually, after 30 minutes of Groundhog Day, I caved and did what any hardened warrior would do. I bailed and went on a Tsushima self-care tour.
It's like a reward.
Hot springs, bamboo strikes, a little haiku therapy, and you know what? It helped. Came back with more health, more resolve, and slightly less fear. Also remembered that kunai existed, which, plot twists, are actually really useful. Plus, I learned the hard way that archers are public enemy number one, because nothing says fair fight like getting arrowed in the spine while trying to parry 5 other dudes at once.
That's what I'm saying.
Eventually, Jin and Ryuzo make it out of the ambush alive, limping back to the Straw Hats, Tsushima's version of a boy band with trust issues. But turns out half the squad's been captured by the Mongols, so we do what we do best, stab, sneak, and save their sorry heads. That earns us Ryuzo's help, and he agrees to join us for the assault on Castle Kaneda. But before the siege, there's one more name on the rescue list, Taka, Yuna's brother, a real one, and a victim of the world's worst job placement. We jailbreak Taka, assemble the most dysfunctional Avengers this island has ever seen, and start gearing up for our biggest move yet, taking back Castle Kaneda. And heading into that battle, we thought we'd have Ryuzo at our side. We thought wrong. So we infiltrate Castle Kaneda, and surprise surprise, stealth is still my best option. Not because I like it, but because I value my digital life. So we sneak through the camp like a budget ninja on anxiety meds. Couple of archers here, couple of sneak kills there, but it's not smooth sailing. On a number of occasions, I try to be sneaky. Keyword, try. And instead alert the entire Mongol population. Next thing I know, I'm surrounded by 5 brawny blokes with sharp pointy sticks and self-esteem issues. Bruh. 2 hits, dead. 1 hit, still dead. So I lean on the bow. Hard. Long range cheese. The ancient art of, please don't make me fight these guys. Eventually, through fear, prayer, and excessive crouching, we push through. We reach the inner gate. And who's waiting for us? Ryuzo. Still chillin', like he didn't just ghost us, pun intended, on raid night. Turns out he's betrayed us. Shocker. And apparently the Khan slapped a bounty on Jin's head, and Ryuzo's stomach overruled his loyalty. So now we fight, and he sucks. Not emotionally, like literally. Dude's fast, unpredictable, and built like regret. And to make things worse, I hadn't unlocked the double roll yet. And boy, was I regretting that decision right about now.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
He's got these 2 unblockables that feel actually illegal, because they're not just unblockable, they're psychological warfare. He's got this one where he does a Beyblade spin move that tracks you like a heat-seeking missile. I don't even think it's dodgeable. Believe me, I tried. And I died. And then there's this creepy one where he sheathes his sword, walks up slowly like a samurai librarian, and then unleashes 2 lightning fast slashes straight to your will to live. I'm pretty sure I died for an hour straight. No progress, no mercy, just loading screens and shame. The only upside, Ghost of Tsushima has the fastest loading screens in the business. Respawn, die, respawn, die. At some point it felt personal. Eventually, either by luck or because Ryuzo got bored, I landed the final hit. He screams for help, predictably, like the stomach-driven coward he is. And guess what? Archers show up. Because of course there are archers. There are always archers. But we deal with them because we've suffered, we've evolved, we've seen things, and finally it's time to rescue the reason we came in the first place, Lord Shimura. So we climb the castle, fight through a couple angry bros doing their best Dark Souls cosplay, and free Daddy Shimura from captivity. But there's no time for hugs. The remaining Mongol forces launch one last desperate push to stop us. So we hold the courtyard, one final clash, steel, arrows, honor. And after what feels like 3 weeks of trauma, we retake Castle Kaneda. Victory. Finally. But it won't last. With Castle Kaneda back in our hands, and Lord Shimura now unkidnapped, the next step is obvious. Retake his castle, which the Khan's now squatting in like it's a beachfront Airbnb. But before we can do that, we gotta take Fort Ito, which sounds easy until you try, and die again. Honestly, this was just one big get good seminar. Eventually, I brute forced my way through it, using stealth, fear, and whatever resolve I hadn't sobbed out. And now it's time to send a message to the mainland to request Shogun support. Can we just call them? Send a raven, slide into a group chat? Nah, we hire a pirate to sail through the Mongol blockade. Peak efficiency. So we fight through another fort to clear the way, and Jin starts busting out his new ghost move, which Lord Shimura reacts to like a dad catching his son doing Fortnite dances in public. We fight through waves of Mongols while dodging flaming arrows like it's a quick time event from hell, and we reach the Hawacha, aka the arrow cannon that makes everything explode. Shimura doesn't want us to use it. Jin looks at him like, you want to win or not? And Shimura reluctantly nods with his trademark stank face. So we light up the boats, a pirate sails through, message delivered, and Shogun.exe is activated. Next up, Yarikawa, which is mid-siege and they're not doing too well. Enter Jin. We rally the people, break the siege, and then Big Boss Energy shows up, General Temuge. Now this guy, not too bad. Once you stop panicking every time he lights his sword on fire like he's doing a cosplay. He's got an unblockable shield bash and looks like he listens to Linkin Park in the shower. But eventually, we beat him, and in doing so, we unlock the Ghost Stance, which is basically God mode, if you can actually avoid getting hit long enough to use it. Still, worth it. With General Temuge officially relieved of breathing duties, the people of Yarikawa are saved, and just like that, they pledge allegiance to Lord Shimura. Finally, a win. But before we can take back the big boy castle, word comes through that Ryuzo has been spotted holed up at a fort. So naturally, Jin heads there immediately, because we haven't suffered enough. In this section, pure, unfiltered, pain in the ass. I tried stealth, I failed stealth. I gave up on stealth and decided to face the Mongols head on and died 20 times straight like it was a challenge run. 30 deaths and one existential crisis later, I find Ryuzo, except, plot twist, it's a trap! Jin gets knocked out, wakes up tied to a pole, and guess who's also here? Taka, my boy, the real one. The Khan shows up, all smug and theatrical, and tells Taka to kill us. But Taka, being a certified legend, says no, takes a swing at the Khan, misses, and loses his head. Literally. This breaks Jin. It also breaks me, and once we escape our restraints, Jin is ready to unleash the ghost. Vengeance, fury, all of it. Unfortunately, I'm still the one holding the controller, and guess who we have to fight? Straw Hat motherfuckers. They're fast, they're unpredictable, they wear paper-thin armor but somehow still delete you with 2 swipes. I struggled hard here, like embarrassingly hard, but thankfully, Straw Hats don't like arrows to the skull, so I cheesed that and pushed through.
And modern problems require modern solution.
Just as I'm getting cooked for the 12th time, Yuna rides in like a knight in shining armor and helps finish off the remaining Straw Hats. She finds her brother, and yeah, that moment hurts. No time to process it though, because more Mongols crash the party. Another battle, another dozen deaths, but eventually we break through. And now, with everything stripped away, one step remains: Castle Shimura. The battle starts off like every big samurai showdown. Honor, swords clashing. It's all going well. In fact, I barely even died during the process. Although that could be because I hid behind my allies for a lot of it, taking out the unarmored archers. But it all goes to hell when the bridge gets blown to pieces. The rest of the army's stuck, so naturally, Jin does what Jin does best. He defies his uncle's orders and sneaks off alone like a ghost with trust issues.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
He slips through enemy lines, past patrols, into the heart of the castle, and then he poisons their meal. We storm the castle, ready to throw hands with Big Daddy Khan, except he's gone. Just vanished, like my self-respect. But in his place, we find Ryuzo, the last of the Straw Hats, our former brother. Now just another mask we have to tear off. He's not the same though, and neither are we. He fights hard, same spin moves, same flashy steps, but it's different now. Maybe because we're better, or maybe because we stopped caring. Either way, the blade goes through, he falls, and this time, there's no one left to scream for help. Shimura arrives, there's no pride, no warmth, just an ultimatum. Be my son, or be the ghost. Jin chooses the mask, the poison, the fear. Shimura has him arrested, but ghosts don't stay caged. We break free, but unfortunately during our escape, our horse, our companion since the prologue, gets shot. We make it north, but our boy doesn't make it. That's two brutal losses in less than an hour, and I was emotionally prepared for neither. And now we're in the frozen north, alone, hunted, and possibly losing circulation to our toes. With Shimura to the south and every bridge between us burned, emotionally and literally, there's only one direction left to go. Straight at the Khan. He's packing up, ready to ship out. Dude's got his bags, his boats, and a gallon drum of the very poison we used on his milk. Love that for us. So before he can sail off to mainland Japan and commit war crimes, Jin and the crew roll up for a full-blown siege. Our allies attack from the front, causing chaos, and Jin, being Jin, slips through the shadows like a grudge in sandals. And after 25 hours of trauma, betrayal, and light fox harassment, we face the Khan. He's tall, loud, real big dick energy. And honestly, I was ready to suffer, expecting this to be another Ryuzo tier controller snapping experience. But then, he kinda sucks. He's slow, and his unblockables come with a warning label. And once you clock his patterns, it's just rinse, parry, repeat. So we beat him. And of course, he runs. Absolute coward behavior, and leaves us with a fresh batch of Mongol bros, who I probably could have handled, if not for the archers. Why are there always archers? Like bro, I'm fighting 4 guys already. Now you wanna Legolas me from across the map. Anyway, we deal with that, chase the Khan onto his boat, and I'm feeling good. Confident even. One last boss fight, wrap it up before lunch.
Oh, my sweet summer child.
However, it's like the game suddenly remembered I've been doing this no armor challenge and decided to personally punish me for having the audacity to try. What followed was 2 hours of pure spiritual disintegration. No checkpoints, no forgiveness. Nope, it's just pure suffering. You're thrown into wave after wave of enemies. Shield bros, spearmen, sword guys, archers, because why wouldn't we add snipers to a knife fight? Just endless Mongols, unblockables, and all of it happens while the Khan just casually patrols the ship like some cursed Walmart manager waiting to fire you for breathing wrong. He doesn't just fire you, he lurks, and the moment you so much as blink, he's on you with an unblockable combo that feels handcrafted to make you scream. You take one hit, restart. Miss a parry, restart. Look away for a second, restart. I'm playing Groundhog Day, but worse because every death comes with emotional damage. I died so many times I started memorizing the exact frames of each attack. I developed muscle memory for failure. It got weird. At one point, I whispered please at the screen like the game was holding my family hostage.
Oh man, I can tell you confidently that it is not going to be okay.
After dying more times than I blinked today, I gave up. There was nothing left. I was broken, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. This wasn't a boss fight, this was an intervention, so I packed it in, sailed off mentally and booked myself on yet another Ghost of Tsushima wellness retreat. Hot springs, bamboo stripes, crying in tall grass. We'll be back with more health, more resolve, and way fewer expectations. After getting absolutely folded by the Khan's goon squad like a napkin at a Mongol dinner party, it was clear. We needed a glow up. First stop, charm slots, because more charms equals more power, and more power means less dying. So we chased foxes like a man possessed, petting them, following them, all wholesome and shit. Eventually, we maxed out our 6 charm slots, which was nice. But then, the real MVP came along, the charm of Mizu no Kami. This thing doesn't just help, it rewires your DNA. It increases parry timing, widens the window, makes Jin go from anxious swing merchant to deflecting arrows with his personality. It's basically a cheat code, and I mean that lovingly, because without it, I'd still be on that boat right now, dying in real time. Suddenly, I could parry everything. Spears, swords, unresolved trauma. you name it. And with that newfound swagger, I turned to sword upgrades, which meant clearing Mongol camps for resources. And this is where the final form truly emerged, because by this point, I didn't care about stealth anymore. I walked in through the front gate like a vengeful tax auditor, delete 3 dudes in the standoff and order their souls. Mizu no Kami turned me from a guy who gets jumped into a guy they write warnings about. I basically went from Walter White to Heisenberg.
You're goddamn right.
And with our sword now shining, there was one more thing left to boost. Resolve. So we hit the bamboo strikes scattered across the island, and the game had me hammering out combos like I was training for the Tsushima Olympics. And yes, I needed them all, because I'm chasing the platinum anyway. And yes, another video is coming. Anyway, with the charms in place, sword sharpened, and resolve maxed, it was time. Time to go back. I had fully evolved. Not as a warrior, not as a ghost, but an angel of death with fox petting privileges, and there was only one thing left to do: run it back home. We make it back to the scene of the crime, retracing every painful step of that mission, but this time, I was prepared. I came in with all my ghost tools locked and loaded, stocked up on kunai, bombs, resolve, and vengeance. I fully expected this to still be a nightmare. I mean, this was a guy who practically broke me last time, but to my surprise, it only took 2 attempts. The difference between where we started and where we were now felt like playing a different game, one where I finally understood the rules. I threw everything I had at him, literally. I wasn't holding back anything this time. It wasn't elegant, it wasn't clean, it was a beatdown. With the Khan defeated and the mainland finally safe from Mongol invasion, we returned home, ready to decompress and maybe even celebrate with Lord Shimura. But instead of a toast, he hits me with an Uno reverse card and informed me that the Shogun had branded Jin a traitor and he wasn't there for a family reunion. He was there to collect my head. And yes, before anything says anything, I know I'm not wearing the Traveler's attire in this final fight. I tried to switch it, I really did, but the game forced me into the Ronin outfit. Blame the devs, not me. So now, with everything I'd been through, every parry, every death, every fox lovingly pet, it all led to this. One final duel against the man who raised me. To his credit, he came in swinging. But it's clear from the first clash that he's not exactly built for boss battles. He has a couple of unblockables and a dramatic stare. But let's be honest, he's in his 60s and still wears full armor in summer. The man is tired. The fight ends with one final decision: finish him or spare him. And I chose to spare him, because even though he spent the last few hours trying to run a blade through my stomach, he's still family.
You don't turn your back on family. Even when they do.
He's still the reason Jin became a samurai in the first place. He may not understand the ghost, but he made the man who chose to become one. And with that, the game ends. The challenge is complete, no armor, lethal difficulty, ghost status certified. I genuinely love this game. Ghost of Tsushima isn't just one of my favorite games, it might be my favorite game of all time. The story, amazing. The world, gorgeous. The combat, clean, brutal, poetic. It's the full package, and doing this challenge only made me respect it more, even when it was kicking my ass. If you like watching me suffer here, then you're in luck, because the pain doesn't stop. On screen now, there's a link to my Jedi Survivor No Force challenge on Grandmaster difficulty, and let me tell you, that was actual hell. No force powers, no help. Just me, a lightsaber, and way too much screaming at a certain boss. Click it, watch me suffer some more. You deserve it. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next nightmare. Ciao Bella.